世界のみんなとつながろう Bridges across world communities.
Hello everyone and welcome to Bridges Across World Communities, sponsored by NIA, the Nishinomiya City International Association. My name is Thelma.
And I'm Floyd. Each month, we provide practical knowledge for daily living and important information about disaster prevention.
This program is for English-speaking residents in the Nishinomiya area and is broadcast on the second Saturday of each month from 12 noon to 12:15.
This month, we'll be talking about several important changes taking place in Japan in October. And we also have some tips on preparing for an earthquake.
And our guest is Miss Elizabeth Matiska, an international student from Spokane, Washington. 提供は西宮市国際交流協会です。
Hello, Thelma. It's now September, but the weather still feels so mushiatsui.
Hi, Floyd. Yeah, and it's hard to believe, and this is considered fall time in Japan.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the cooler weather coming in October.
Yeah, me too. By the way, today's topic is about 3 important changes or revisions coming to Japan in October.
Yeah, I heard about those. Shall we dive right into it?
Sure. And the first major change is that postage rates are being raised.
Finally. You know, postage rates have been way too low for far too long.
What?
I'm just being sarcastic. You know, I can't even ship packages to my kids in America and Canada anymore because it's become so expensive. So what are the new rates?
Well, for standard size letters weighing 25 grams or less, the postage will be raised to 110 yen from 84 yen. And the postage for heavier letters weighing up to 50 grams will be raised to 110 yen from 94 yen. And postcards will be raised to 85 yen from 63 yen.
Wow, that's quite a hike. So at around 30%.
Yeah.
Now, what about international postage rates? Will they be increased also?
Yeah, and they were raised in October last year, so they won't be going up again this year.
Oh,
I
thank
guess.
goodness for that. So let's talk about the second big change happening in October. A government measure titled, this is a tongue twister, Expanded Child Support Allowance to Address the Declining Birth Rate.
Wow, that's right. Japan is facing a declining birth rate crisis, so the government has taken measures to substantially expand child allowances by eliminating income restrictions and extending the duration of the allowance from junior high school to senior high school age.
And also, the current monthly allowance for a third or subsequent child will be doubled to 30,000 yen.
Wow. Now, foreign residents living in Japan with the appropriate visa are also entitled to receive child support.
Now, if you're living apart from the child or have any questions, please contact the Nishinomiya City office at 0798 353189. If you need language support, call the city's multilingual call center at 0798 365000 and say Eigo onegaishimasu, which means English, please.
Now, if you still have difficulty communicating with city office, please call NIA for assistance.
Now, those who need to apply will be notified by mail by the city office in early September, so don't discard the notification letter.
Wow. Now, expanded child support allowance is great news for families with children.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, here's some more good news. A revision to the minimum wage in Japan.
Well, by revision, I hope that you mean hike?
Yeah, of course. Now, in Japan, the minimum wage is reviewed every year, and the new minimum wage goes into effect in October, and it varies according to prefecture.
In the case of Yugo Prefecture, where we live, the minimum hourly wage is now 1,001 yen, and it will be raised to 1,051 yen, an increase of 50 yen per hour. Well, a 50 yen hike is not so bad, but considering the higher cost of living these days, I wish it would be a bit better higher.
Yeah, me too. So for anyone making minimum wage, be sure to confirm your pay is at least 1,051 yen per hour starting in October.
And for families with children, be sure to submit your application for extended child support allowances.
7.7 Sakura FM.
And we'd like to welcome our guest this month, Liz Matiska from Spokane.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So, how long have you been here?
I have been here for 11 months.
Wow.
So yeah, I got here in September of last year, and I'll be leaving in August.
Why are you in Japan?
I started learning Japanese at my university, and I ran out of classes to take.
So you must be very good.
No, not quite yet. But I really enjoy studying and learning, so there's a lot to learn, but that's a good thing.
So do you feel over the last 11 months your Japanese has really improved since you've
Oh,
been here?
absolutely, yeah. Back at home, there was not a lot of opportunities for me to practice my Japanese, so I learned the basics, I learned the grammar, but when I came here, I finally got to put it into use.
So
that was
that
great.
was what, with friends here or just getting around?
Yeah, in class with friends, reading the kanji and the train station, getting around with Google Maps and stuff. So yeah, it's improved drastically just out of necessity.
So why did you start learning Japanese?
It was actually kind of random. I had to take some language class for college. It was a requirement, and when I was younger, my family had Japanese students come stay with us for a year at a time. So I think maybe that influenced my decision, but Japanese
so it wasn't that random.
No,
Yeah,
yeah. It was more of like a subconscious thing maybe, but Japanese is just so different from English that I didn't want to do another romantic language. I wanted to do something really different, so I just chose Japanese.
So did you study any other languages besides English before that?
I made some pretty sad attempts at French and Dutch, but they didn't get very far. I gave up pretty quickly.
So now you've been here for 11 months, though. What are your plans? Are you going to be staying here or get a job here? What do you think you do?
Well, I still have 2 years of school left in America, and I do plan on living in America just because that's where all my friends and family are. But I would love to come back. I would love to keep using the language. I hope to work in America with foreign students, Japanese and other. So hopefully in some sort of exchange program or whatever. So I plan to live in America, but I definitely plan to come back here at some point as well.
So, I mean, I don't know how to categorize it, but how would you say, how far along are you with the Japanese? Like, do you feel pretty fluent? Like, can you do anything talk to anybody about anything on the streets here?
I feel fairly confident in just basic daily conversations, asking directions, ordering food, having, small talk. I feel very comfortable doing small talk with people. But beyond that, I do struggle quite a bit with vocabulary and any sort of complicated subject I often get lost in. But yeah, I feel fairly very confident when it comes to just, the daily things that you need.
How's your kanji?
Reading, pretty good. Writing, no.
Now, we mentioned that you're from Spokane.
Yeah.
What's it life like there for you?
Much less humid. That's one thing I miss. Spokane is much smaller. It's a lot more rural than Nishinomiya is. Nishinomiya is so close to Osaka that it's crazy that I can just get on the train in half an hour, be in one of the biggest cities in the world. So that's one major difference.
Was that difficult for you to adjust to?
A little bit. Adjusting wasn't so bad, but the longer I'm here, the more I definitely miss the nature, the easy access to camping and fishing and all that. But I really like it here too. That's the main difference.
So you like fishing?
Kind of. My dad likes fishing. I go with him every once in a while, yeah.
My son loves fishing too.
Uh-oh. Are you starting your matchmaking?
Well, she likes it.
Well, if you want to stay in Japan, you probably should marry a Japanese fellow.
Well, my son can speak English,
This is one way to go about it.
So you were mentioning that a lot of nature, like the hiking, I guess boating, fishing, things like that in the Spokane area. Have you done any of that here at all?
Oh, yeah, I've definitely hiked a bit, not in the summer just because it's way too hot. But yeah, I've definitely made a point to try and get out and hike, go into maybe the more rural temples and shrines that you have to walk a bit to. I really enjoy doing that.
So what have been some of your highlights since you've been here?
Just in general or hiking?
Either traveling around or even personal experiences with people, anything.
I really enjoyed the Danjiri Matsuri in Kishiwada. I went, my first month here, that was one of the first big events I went to, and it was just so crazy. Nothing like I've ever seen before. And they're, everyone's screaming and playing music, and they're dragging these things around the corner, and you're like, is it going to fall over or not? And that was kind of my first, I'm in Japan now, experience. So that was pretty crazy.
I kind of felt the same way. Before I came to Japan, I thought Japanese were so mild-mannered and kind of, conservative. But some of these festivals, they're crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how some people survive some of the things they do in these festivals. So what, have you been traveling around much at all?
Yeah, during break I like to travel quite a bit. I went Hiroshima and Okayama during spring break, as well as Tokyo a few times. But yeah, I really enjoyed Okayama, and that kind of surprised me because,
Well,
I
what
mean,
did
I'd
you
never
do?
heard of it before.
Yeah. What did you do there?
They have a castle there. It's a black castle, actually, so it's pretty
Where?
unique looking. Okayama.
Oh,
It's
Okayama.
about halfway between here and Hiroshima, I think, just
okay.
along the coastline. But yeah, they have a black castle, which was pretty cool. And then they also have a beautiful Japanese-style garden, a big, I think it's called Korakuen.
There's also in Matsuyama. What's Matsuyama?
Oh, Matsuyama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Shikoku, I guess.
Yeah, I've been to Matsuyama too.
You can go with my husband, my husband and my son. You're going to go there and then
I'm starting to think you have a plan here.
okay.
Don't you have your son's Meishi? You can do we're becoming a matchmaking service.
No, it's just a joke. But
Let's move on.
encourage her to stay in Japan.
So I also heard that your family came to visit you. Your
Yeah,
parents?
they came during spring break, and that was really fun. I got to show them all my favorite things, my favorite foods. So
Was that their
pretty
first
great.
time here?
Yeah, that was their first time. So it was kind of a new experience for all of us to just
They-
explore together.
Well, they must have been impressed with your Japanese.
I would hope so. I don't know. I'm not sure.
We've already run out of time, but we're going to pick this up again next month, so we'll do the second half next month.
Of
Thank you so
course.
much for joining
Great,
us.
yeah, thank you
and
so
we'll
much.
Thank
talk
you.
more later.
Bosai Joho desu.
On August 8th, shortly after a magnitude 7.1 earthquake struck off the coast of Miyazaki Prefecture, the Japan Meteorological Agency issued its first ever alert for an elevated risk of a Nankai Trough megaquake.
The alert advised residents in western and central Japan to be prepared for a disaster and review evacuation procedures in case of a severe earthquake and tsunami.
Our area is located near the Nankai Trough, and we would be severely affected by such a megaquake.
After a tense week, the alert was finally lifted on August 15th.
So with this serious reminder, here's a short list of ways to prepare for an earthquake.
Store extra food and water, and secure any large pieces of furniture to walls or ceilings.
Be prepared to evacuate and inform family members about the location of evacuation shelters and ways to confirm their safety.
Get accurate information from reliable sources, including national and local governments like Hyogo Prefecture and Nishinomiya City.
If an earthquake does occur, take appropriate action to protect your life and keep up to date with the latest information from reliable multi-language sources like the Japan Meteorological Agency or NHK World Japan.
Keep safe by being prepared. NIA's Japanese language classes are starting again this month, and there are still a few spaces available.
We have lessons on Sunday mornings, and the program is called Let's Speak and Learn Japanese. And these classes are given at an intermediate level. And on Monday evenings, another program is called Japanese Language Course for Foreigners. And these classes are given at an elementary and intermediate level. Now, all these lessons are taught by professional Japanese instructors.
For more details, please check NIA's website or Facebook page.
For language class applications or any other inquiries, contact NIA at 0798 328680 or send an email to nia@nishi.or.jp. Our English-speaking staff will be happy to help. Just want to mention, as we were talking about earlier in the program, Japan is facing a declining birth rate crisis. And with the expanded child support allowance, we're encouraging all our listeners to have lots of children.
Are you serious?
Yeah, of course.
Well, 30,000 is much, I like it. I want to have baby, I guess.
Okay, so have lots of children out
Oh,
there.
that was a joke, everyone. Okay. Please continue to be careful and stay safe.
Don't stay safe. 提供は西宮市国際交流協会でした。
Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe.